Hello, my friends. I am sorry for the delay. Not really. I'm not really, actually. But I hope everybody is doing well today. For some reason, the typing noise is on my computer, and so whenever I type, that's not my typing. That's like the computer typing noise. Yeah, you guys know me. I'm not fucking sorry. I was looking for a lighter. I found it. I was sitting on it. But the good news is, or I don't know if you call it good news, but I found it. So I would call that good news. Um, I hope everybody is doing well today. Like I said, the poll question, please make sure to complete the poll question. I don't know how long I'll leave that up for. I guess it doesn't impact the video, but I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. The question is in regards to New Year's Eve this year, and we are going to be hanging out here on New Year's Eve, and I would love for all of you to join us. I've been working hard on New Year's plans for what actually feels like months now. Not been months, it's more like weeks, but still, I've been working hard on it, and I am excited to hang out and spend the time with you guys. Um, Most of it's going to be on the YouTubes, by the way. I've decided now. Originally, I wanted to do it on Discord, but it's not as easy as I thought. And so most of it I've planned for it to be like a YouTube party. So basically me hosting. I've created a bunch of different things, games, exciting things. So, Jonathan, oh my God. Oh my God. Yay! As a reminder, just because you see somebody's name doesn't mean that they are here. They're going to get an email and telling them that they were gifted so loving. Ah! Miss Carrie! You guys, you're gonna. Oh my God. Thank you, Miss Carrie. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh, you guys, my is so full. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Happy Boxing Day Recovery Day. Yes, Boxing Day Recovery Day. Um, wow. We are okay. Well, this Sunday is going to be a special Sunday because we have our New Year's party and a members only. It's going to be so exciting. So exciting. Like I said, I've been working on some games where I will be it's inspired by the game that we played with Lisa Figalicious that one night. But I will be mouthing the words to a song and you guys will have to guess that. So that's going to be lots of fun. And I'm sure we'll have some court in there as well. A bunch of different things for New Year's. Plus, of course, our main event for the evening is the 2023 Joe edition, Judicial Official Edition of Smash or Pass. Uh, we are going to have a great time with that. So I am very excited for that. We are tonight watching some small claims court for Thurston County that I got the other day, and we'll watch that. Um, are we gonna watch? I got a couple things. I got some today. I got some yesterday. You see, I'm a how does that meme go? I can't even make the meme work properly, but it's like I'm a LawTube content creator. I will get court every single day of the year. I'm at this and that. Like, that one? I'm not good at it.
Turn remote. First thing we'll do this
2023 did
morning
come and
is
leave.
take roll,
Hold on,
find out who's
Judge.
here.
Judge.
So if you're remote, when I call your name, if you'd unmute and let me know you're present.
How about you just fucking wait for me, Judge? 2023 did come and leave like a side piece, Miss Carrie. Uh, she snuck in the back door. She avoided setting off the security lights. And at this point, she's leaving without setting off the ring camera. You know.
Georgia Acosta. Georgia Acosta. Nobody responding. And Michael Pylant.
Oh yeah, also, what did you have for dinner? Thanks for reminding me, Kelly. What'd you have for dinner? If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. Um, I know there's no snow basically this year, which again, we normally don't have snow. Hardee's, what is that? I've heard of that. Is that a restaurant, Carol? I don't remember. Soup and Cheez-Its, beef stew for Beverly. Nancy didn't eat, she'll eat later. Um, your non-crackhead neighbor made your son stuffed shells because he isn't feeling good. Oh, that's nice. Um, but crackheads can cook too. I'm just joking, Miss Carrie. Um, okay, so Hardee's is like a restaurant. It's hard. I'm in the west coast of Canada, so it not everything is McDonald's special buddy. Okay. I don't think we have one. Is it like Arby's? Or do they just sound sort of similar? Um, Cellulite Yoga Pants made a ham and cheddar stuffed chicken breast, bacon green beans, and Parmesan lentil noodles. So many combinations there. So many combinations. Carl's Jr. We don't have that either, but I've heard about that, I think. Round steak, green beans, mac and cheese, and key lime pie. Oh, I like some key lime pie. You had stew as well, Winter Witch? Winter Witch. We heard oh, that girl was changing her last name, so it wasn't really. But we were watching a name change docket yesterday, and there was a child named Winter. I'm not sure that it was spelled with a Y though. So it's fast food. Well, you know what? I like fast food just as much as the rest of us. Actually, probably more. I really love like love fast food. But trying to be a little more healthy. Um, she says as she drinks her canned iced coffee, not iced because it's still in a can, and I don't even think it's cold. It came out of my purse. Anyways, I did get in the household that I live, somebody received a really cool air fryer, and I am pretty excited to read the recipe book and make some things in it because it had like muffin recipes and stuff. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but I'm gonna be doing that too. He was like, I told you not to touch it. I was like, I don't recall hearing you say that. I'm pretty positive you said be careful when you touch it. But supposedly he said, don't fucking touch it. So we're at an impasse now on them because I do the cooking. Doesn't seem very smart to have a cooking utensil I can't use in your kitchen.
No response. Nicole Kinred Sinclair, Kyle Sinclair,
I'm here.
thank you. And Amber Nick Lance,
Present.
Present.
thank you. Thank you. And Jeffrey McMorrow,
To be clear, I literally understood his instruction to say, please be careful when you use it. And so I've already unpackaged it, read the instructions, and used it. And that's when he informed me that he didn't want me to use it. And I was like, well, it's a bit late now. But he wants me to move it. Anyways, regardless, yeah, I've already used it. It works great. I fucking love it. It has a really big window on the front and you can see in and it's got a light. Oh yeah, I told him I tried the coffee. First of all, also, this roommate is my ex-boyfriend, so not quite just a roommate. In that sense, like maybe that's worse. I don't know. For him, it's probably worse. It's like, oh, but for me, anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's just keep watching. And no, this is not the what's it called? Name change court again. This is same judge, but small claims.
Here, Your Honor.
thank you. And Aurora Lasik,
Here, Your Honor.
thank you.
Yay, Miss Donna Orlando Chiquita. Thank you so much. Happy Merry Christmas. Hi, Kobe. Are you listening? I love you. That's Donna's dog, guys. Woo. And look at that. Deb's getting a membership for this weekend. Yay.
John Peterson, John Peterson, no response. And Ultimate Education, Jeff Beamish, no response. Capital City Golf,
That case is stricken.
thank you. Meridian Campus Residential,
Stricken as well.
thank you. Campus Glen Neighborhood,
That one is also stricken.
okay. Angela and Arthur Childers,
Present.
thank you. And David Loeb, thank you.
Actually, that's a great question. So in the chat, tell me what you would say during attendance, or I guess they might call it roll call. Would you say present, here? There's another one. Oh, Miss Carrie, there's many funny stories about that. Um, is present very common? I feel like I would always say here. Here, here, here. The teachers didn't take attendance the same way that they at the end of the year that they do at the beginning of the year. Interesting.
All right, folks, by my count, we have 3 cases where both parties are present set for trial. Let me tell you how we'll proceed on those cases. When we call the cases, I'll have the parties sworn in. So if they're present in the courtroom, I'll have you take a table up here. For those appearing remote, you'll unmute, and at that time, you'll also activate your camera. I'll swear you in. I'll hear from the plaintiff, I'll hear from the defendant, and then I'll decide the case. I'll decide the case by applying the law to the facts that I find to be true today. Now, I'm going to take the next few minutes and discuss with you why I believe it is in your best interests not to go to trial, and why I believe you ought to take advantage of the opportunity you're going to have today to settle your case without going to trial. First of all, if you go to trial, you are making a choice to potentially give up the chance you have to come up with the best solution to the problem that finds you here. Because when you go to trial, you do not ask me to come up with the best solution. You ask me to come up with the legally correct solution. And in many cases, they are not one and the same. So, for example, I may listen to the parties testify, and there may occur to me to be a very obvious way to settle the problem that generally meets the needs of both parties. And I will have to ignore that solution because that's not what the law may call for. Also, if you choose to go to trial, you are giving up any chance you have to have any say over how the problem that finds you here is resolved. Because when you turn it over to me, you're asking me to be the one to solve the problem. And I will do so. And there's an obvious limitation in making that request, and that limitation is that of the 3 of us, the plaintiff, the defendant, and me, I'm the one who knows the least about the problem. So, for example, if the issue is an auto accident, I wasn't standing on the corner, I didn't see it happen. You don't have a video of it happening. Essentially, what's going to occur is you each are going to point the finger at the other party and say, it's not my fault, it's his or her fault. And then you're going to ask me to decide whose fault it was based principally on that type of information. And I will. If the issue is a contractual agreement between the 2 of you, and we have one of those today, as we have the auto accident case today, if the agreement isn't entirely in writing, I may hear testimony about various conversations concerning this agreement, and maybe there are different versions of those conversations. And I'm going to have to decide what it was you agreed to, knowing I was never a party to any of the conversations. And if the issue is a home or apartment rental, I haven't been in the home. I don't know whether you were a good tenant or a poor tenant. I don't know whether you made a good effort to clean up before you left or you just left. So I will have to make a decision based on what I'm being told. And what we're going to find here in these cases, when the parties give us their testimony, we're going to hear very different versions of the very same set of facts. And the versions are going to be different because what you're going to do is you're going to tell me what happened from your perspective. And of course, your perspective is intended to advance your best interests. That's normal. That's what people do. Now, the versions may also be different because one or both of you may make the choice not to tell me the truth.
The virgins or versions? I think he meant versions. Every version's different.
And you're going to ask me to figure that out. And you can ask me to figure that out knowing, first of all, I don't know either one of you. I don't have any ability to assess what I'm hearing against facts which I know to be true about the case. So while you're testifying, I can't think to myself that I've known you for a long time. I've known you always to be honest, accurate, to never exaggerate. Or I can't think to myself the opposite. And as I said, I don't know anything about the case that brings you here, so I can't assess what I'm hearing against facts which I know to be true about that situation. So you may be sitting there listening to the other party testify, and they say things which, because you know certain facts, seem to you preposterous. And you think, my gosh, I can't believe they told the judge that. Surely the judge doesn't believe that. Well, fair warning. I don't know the things you know. And I very well may have believed what was just said. And I can assure you, if it's your version of the truth that I choose not to believe, or for whatever reason, then you're not going to be very satisfied with the resolution you get from the court. Now, you're all here today because you know you are right in the problem that finds you here. If you choose to go to trial, I'll tell half of you that you were wrong. That's the nature of the trial process. So as you sit here right now, the odds are at best 50-50 that when we conclude this calendar at the end of the morning, that you'll be satisfied with the resolution you get. And those aren't very good odds. Thank you. And I will, pardon me, and I will suggest to you that it's my belief the odds, in fact, aren't that good. And the reason I say that is because even if you prevail, if, for example, you're the plaintiff and I say, yes, you're entitled to judgment, I may decide you're entitled to judgment to a lot less degree than you believe you are. In practical terms, I may award you a lot less money than you think you were entitled to. And in the end, it may be so little money that you think to yourself, my gosh, I waited this time to get on the small claims calendar, spent all day on the Friday before Christmas or all morning hanging out there, and this is all I have to show for my efforts. Now, if that's not the case, if when the case is resolved, you're satisfied, and if you're the defendant, maybe I dismiss the case, or if you're the plaintiff, maybe I award you every penny that you've asked for. In that case, what you would leave here with is this. Eventually get it if you're not here in the court. And that piece of paper would potentially say that you have a judgment in a certain amount of money. And if that's the situation you find yourself in, what I will suggest to you is what you have just done is accomplished the easy part of the small claims process. Now comes the hard part. Turning this into money. Because I can assure you, you cannot take that piece of paper to your financial institution, hand it to the teller, and have them credit your account with a number that appears there. It does not work that way. So you may be sitting there thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I've spent all this time pondering how am I best going to present my case at small claims court, and I'm now being told that's the easy part. I haven't given any thought at all to what happens if I actually prevail. Now, maybe that's not the case. Maybe you're a veteran of this process, been through it many times. You know exactly what you need to do to enforce the small claims judgment. If so, you can go on about taking steps necessary to do so. I suspect, however, that most of you, maybe all of you, are new to this process, and you may not have a clue what you're supposed to do if you end up with that piece of paper. So what will you do? You may want to you may be inclined to ask me or call the civil office and ask the clerk, okay, what do I do now? And I'll go ahead and answer that for you. I'm sorry, we can't tell you. And the reason that's the answer is because telling you what you need to do to enforce a small claims judgment is giving you legal advice, and we're not allowed to give you legal advice. So what do you do when you want legal advice? Go talk to an attorney. Lots of attorneys here in town, they'll be more than happy to talk with you to tell you what you need to do to enforce a small claims judgment. They will also be more than happy to charge you for talking to you to tell you what you need to do to enforce a small claims judgment. And I will suggest to you, in many cases, you will end up paying more in attorney's fees for that advice than you'll ever recover on the judgment. So where does that lead you? Well, doing it yourself, and that's fine. You can go online or go over to the county law library, pull out the book on enforcement of judgments, read what the legislature wrote telling you what you need to do to enforce a small claims judgment. But that's up to you. Now, this I can tell you, our statistics show you're much more likely to recover on a resolution to your problem if you achieve that resolution through a negotiated settlement rather than walking out of here at the end of the day with a judgment. Now, I will also suggest, and actually before I do that, I'm going to indicate what we're going to do now is we're going to move to mediation shortly and give you an opportunity to try to resolve the matter in discussions with the other parties or other party. And I know from what I've read and what's been pled that in at least one of our cases, there's been, I think, some fairly heavy negotiation that's gone on. And I'm going to point out, since I've had an opportunity to read pleadings that have been filed in these cases, and I can see right now some weaknesses on all of the parties' arguments that have been presented in writing to the court already. So, for example, on our landlord-tenant case, maybe there is an entitlement to return of a deposit, but if that still doesn't prohibit the landlord from potentially filing a claim for damages outside of that. Just because you might get a return on a deposit doesn't mean that that prohibits the landlord from seeking to get damages. So people need to be open to that possibility and may want to negotiate with that in mind. On the contractual issue we have, as I said, one, I wasn't present for any oral conversations. I know I have seen documents that were filed concerning the contract. And unless there are expert witnesses, there may be a difficult time proving up the need of certain treatments. So just be aware of that in your discussions as to whether you want to negotiate. And on the auto accident case, I've already made the point that I didn't see it happen, and I'm likely to hear very different versions. So I suggest you be open to the possibility that I might not find your version as the version most accurate. So I urge in all three cases, the parties really consider in good faith a negotiation. The other thing I'll add on that is I have had many cases where there's been an offer of settlement that turns out to be significantly greater than the amount the court actually awarded in judgment when the parties turned down the offer of settlement. I have seen that many times. So I urge the parties to negotiate in good faith, even if you already have, and see if there's a way you can resolve the matter without going to trial. Now, we have with us today Vicki and Leslie and Keisha. We have three mediators from Thurston County Dispute Resolution Center.
Wow. I thought that that was an important spiel to listen to because I do believe he managed to knock that caseload down to one case that we will now watch. Uh, oh, Judge buffering.
In case we lost connection with Chad, you want to log us back in for me, please?
Which one do we think it will be? Will it be the automobile accident? Will it be the contract issue or the landlord tenant? We will see. We will see. I think Mayor's doing well. He's in and out. He's resting. Um, yeah. Oh, baked penne for dinner tonight, Tin Man. Ooey gooey cheese for the win. Yeah, I love cheese. Hate the price of cheese here in Canada, but in Estados Unidos, the price is muy bien.
And Ms. Childers, we'll just start with the general question. Looks like you're claiming damages from an auto accident. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Correct. Okay. And I see you claimed 10,000
Yes, that's correct.
and the estimate was $8,585.73.
Yes, that's correct.
And you got the difference to 10,000 how?
They weren't able to look under the hood and they said they're pretty sure that there's damage to the radiator, so it would probably cost more than that. But because I drove it there, they were afraid to open the hood because they didn't think they'd get it to close again.
Okay, but so it's just basically what you're telling me is just a guess. You're
Yeah.
saying there's damage. The known damage, 585.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I worked at a car dealership for like many years. I'm not sure I ever heard of them doing a quote without opening the hood and being unwilling to open the hood of a vehicle, thinking they can't get it closed again. I've never, what kind of damage was on that vehicle? How on earth is it just body damage that she thinks she has? Oh my God, how warped are the axles? Like all these things. Doesn't make any sense. And you're telling me that nothing, oh my.
Okay, so let me ask, are you Mr. Loeb?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
Mr. Loeb, are you contesting your liability for the damages or are you contesting the amount of the damages?
They're testing the amount of damage, the cost of the damage, yeah.
Okay, so you're agreeing you're liable for damage, but
Yes,
you're
I hit, yeah.
Okay.
I'm liable to, because I hit it.
okay.
Yes. I'm not
But your
contesting
question
that.
is how much you should have to pay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we're going to focus on that. And just briefly describe the accident for me, Ms. Childers. What happened?
I wasn't there. It was my brother-in-law driving the truck, but my understanding was from the police reports that it was parked. Mr. Loeb had a medical emergency and hit it, and that's where the damage came from.
Okay. And it's your truck?
It's my father-in-law's, and I have power of attorney for him, so I'm taking care of this.
Okay. All right. And that's Arthur?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess what I'll do, we'll do it this way. Mr. Loeb, did you look at the Lacey collision estimate?
No, I never seen nothing.
Okay. Let's print that up.
See the police report.
I have it here. Let me see if it'll link to this printer. I hit print. Oh, no, it's, how about if you print it up?
Okay. Could you just give me the three numbers that it's sending in?
It says Lacey collision
Ask
estimate.
to see the police report.
Yeah.
Am I doing
Yeah, I think the police report right now is well, I guess we could look at, did you file the police report? Ms. Childers?
Police were called on site and they have a report from there. But they were told at the time, my brother-in-law was okay with them waiting for Mr. Loeb to be released from the hospital. Said they'd take care of it that way, so the police didn't open an investigation and do anything else.
Okay. All right. So do you have a hard copy of a police report?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. And did you file that in these documents? These documents mostly just have numbers, so I can't tell.
I did not file the police report, no.
Okay.
Well,
why don't you
I gave them
why
a
don't you-
copy. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Why don't you email that? And Chase, what's the email address? We're going to give you an email address, and if you can email it to us right now.
Okay. I was gonna say, I think they took a copy of it when I filed the small claims.
Yeah, I don't see it in here.
Okay. If my phone falls, I'm sorry, it's on the same TV tray as my laptop, so.
Okay.
See, and this is why I didn't want to skip it. Okay. My face is all crazy because I'm trying to not allow this email address to get doxed. I'm deciding how to do that in the moment best without fucking missing something like her saying, "Hey, watch out. Don't worry or sorry if my phone falls because I'm freaking it's on the same tray." This does sound very fishy, by the way. Also, if you're just getting here, make sure that you've clocked in for your shift by hitting that like button. Also, tell me what you had for dinner. No, Jonathan, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just cut the audio part and play it, and then I'll have it, but y'all won't, and we won't miss a bit.
And did you chatted her? Yeah. So we sent you the email address in the chat. So if you'll just email the police report to that address, that would be helpful.
See, and as usual, the clerk, in fact, already knew. Oh, we don't be fucking putting that email address out there, Judgy. I already put it to her in the chat. So thank you to them. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't skip any. Again, the minutia of court. Again, well, we'll see. We'll see. This sounds fishy. Chris, you type in exclamation mark points and see how many points you have and go from there.
Okay, I don't see anything in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything coming up.
Okay, let's just.
Okay.
What's the email address, Chase?
CDC. Okay, can you give it to me again? It was on my screen and then it disappeared.
Yeah. Thurston.
Thurston.
.wa.
WA.
.us.
US. Okay, let me pull it up real quick and I'll get it sent out.
Chris, you ain't got no point. You got lots of points. Is that like 4 million? There we go. Yeah, I see it working now. Remember these points are completely arbitrary. Hi, Wendy. And everybody earns them, uh, according to Streamlabs. You can also give points.
All right, if you don't mind, I'm gonna run out to my office. I'll just scan the police report I have and I'll email it that way because I can't get it to pull up on the laptop.
All right, thank you. And before you go, I was handed a statement on behalf of Mr. Loeb, I'm assuming by his son?
I'm a neighbor.
Neighbor, okay. And was this provided to Ms. Childers in the mediation?
No,
Can you email that to her?
I got a copy. We didn't know how to handle this situation. We showed her pictures of the car.
Okay,
We showed her pictures of Dave's bumper.
okay, let's wait till she's
Okay.
back with us.
Okay.
Can we,
I don't have a way to scan it in.
okay, you want to go over to the office? Like to get this case done.
Also, there's a limit in time. You can't just gamble. There's like a timeout feature. I don't know how long it is, but it doesn't work back to back to back to back to back, but it does. And it does get busy in here with that. So sometimes you might not notice it, but I promise y'all be fucking cleaning the KCC chips out.
Rather than continue. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Thanks, Chase. And Ms. Childers, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're going to scan a document that I was just handed by Mr. Loeb, and we're going to email that to you. So if that means you have to stay in the office to receive it, just know it's coming.
She's Creed framed. She's back. Night, night, Winter.
I apologize. I haven't been on my computer today. It's warming up.
Yep, that's okay. And did you hear what I said?
No, I did not.
Okay. I was handed a statement by Mr. Loeb, and you haven't seen it apparently. So we're scanning it and we're going to email it to you. So
Okay.
it should be coming in shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so obvious sometimes. Um, lying or bullshit is, it's just so obvious to me too, Carol. We'll see what's happening here. This is the kind of thing that people that bullshit and think they are hot shit don't listen to the judge when he just literally begged them, don't come in front of me. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. The judge is the smartest person on the screen, right? Jonathan! Thank you so much. Everybody, remember that I am going to have better emojis for the New Year's party, but um seriously, the judge is the smartest one on the screen, obviously, and he, including for me, like, I just know he is adept at spotting all of those things, and that's partially why he doesn't like people coming in front of him for these things. I know, I don't know. You know, when it's bigger than 1 by 1 inch and you look at it, it just looks okay. But now we have this. Also, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. We are excited for this Sunday. Uh, you don't need to be a member to come to this Sunday's party, New Year's party, but it will be a lot of fun if you're a member because we will have different emojis for you to vote with. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And if you
And Ms.
oh,
Childers, one of the points raised in that statement, and we can talk about it as we're going through this, we can talk about it now without waiting for the police report to show up, is the argument that Mr. Loeb makes that he's found the Blue Book value of the 2000.
well, thank you so much. Hey, oh, thank you so much. Oh, you guys are so generous. And that's a great reminder. Make sure to turn your gifts on, guys. We don't want YouTube Daddy to run out of people to gift to. It is the most kind way that you can support me and give a gift. It's so sweet. I love it. Wenlaw, thank you so much. Uh okay, so here's what's happened. They've looked it up and they've said, oi, 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 oi. Her car isn't worth how much she's asking for. Ay, 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 ay. Is that what we're about to see here? Oh my goodness. Also, it's not her car, it's her boyfriend's uncle's dad's car or something like that. And she's a power of attorney on that.
One Silverado is significantly less than the damage claim. Let's talk about it as we're going through this. We can talk about it now without waiting for the police report to show up, is the argument that Mr. Loeb makes that he's found the Blue Book value of the 2001 Silverado is significantly less than the damage claimed under the estimate. So your thoughts on that?
That my Blue Book value is around 6,800 that I saw for the condition of the truck. So I'm not opposed. That's why I wasn't opposed to mediating. Because I really didn't expect the full 10,000 anyways. So
Okay, so you saw a Blue Book value of 6,800.
yes.
All right, And Mr. Lowe, I think you had a slightly different Blue Book value, but it's in the same ballpark. So what are your thoughts on obligations to cover the Blue Book value of the truck? I'm sorry?
Not over 2,000, I wouldn't think.
But in your statement, you said the Blue Book value was.
Oh, yeah, the Blue Book value, yeah.
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 Okay,
That's for excellent condition.
okay,
We have a picture of the truck off Google Earth, and it shows that the truck is not in excellent condition.
okay.
And you can see that picture off Google Earth.
That's all. You guess the picture.
We have a picture of it from 20.
Hold on. Are they introducing Google Earth imagery as evidence right now? Is that what's happening? Oh my God. That's nuts.
2011 sitting at the house. We also have a picture of it from 2019 with significant rust damage to the vehicle.
When was the accident?
2023.
And may I see the photos that you?
Excuse me?
May I see the photos that you have?
Yes, sir.
All right, I just sent the report.
You just got the statement that we faxed to you or that we scanned and emailed to you?
No, I haven't gotten that yet, but I just did email off the police report to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Witness as well.
All right.
This is a picture of the truck at their house with the rust damage on the top of the car. See the rust?
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the pictures are taken right from the same site. This goes to the character. You can scroll through there and see what the neighbors are dealing with a little bit.
Well, that's not gonna be
This
an
just
issue.
shows it.
Yeah, that's not an issue for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you want a picture of it?
Oh. Here's the damage to Dave's car that we were over here today in, and it shows a measuring tape at 2 feet.
Okay,
That
Thank you.
messes I-
And this damage here, he did that with a torch trying to heat up that gas.
okay,
That's a plastic bumper.
All right.
There's no other damage to his Jeep whatsoever.
okay,
There's not a scratch on it.
And
okay.
the Jeep's out.
All
It's
right.
out front.
Thank you.
Driving down Miller, you can't go over 15 miles an hour because there's cars all over the street. That's really bad street.
Is that the police report? Tom?
Yes, it is.
And did you make another copy so I can give it to the? And Mr. Loeb, here's a copy of the police report. Yep, you can just take it back and read it. I'm doing the same thing. I haven't seen it before either.
All right, I just got the letter. I'm printing it up right now.
All right, good.
Who the fuck asked you to print it? Why would you print it? Hi, Mikey. I hope you're doing well. Hi and bye. Does that mean you're here and leaving? Or are you saying that to Tin Man? Because Tin Man, you have company coming over. Bye. KCC the attorney. Oh, not an attorney. Definitely not an attorney. Hi, Lexa.
Very minor accident.
Oh, yeah, okay, hold on. And your name is Ron Arendt, is that right?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay, so that's somebody else. Okay,
Yeah, Ron lives on that street.
okay,
When
all
I
right,
come and got my Jeep, yeah.
okay.
He lives right down the
Your
street.
Honor, I'm gonna go back into my house. It's gonna pop me off the Wi-Fi, I think, again for a second, but I will be back
Sure.
momentarily. Okay, thank you.
There's the lady who
Right.
called.
Mhm.
She called it in. That's the lady who helped you. And this is just a medical report, basically. Ron went over there to help you.
And
Lexa, I can catch you up on this case. I know I may look different, but I am here, appearing from Zoom court, sort of. What's happened? This is a small claims court, and this is a small claims case with the gentleman above me here and the lady beside me here, having gotten into an automobile accident. They don't seem to disagree on the fault, which was the gentleman up there. The thing at issue at this point is that the vehicle they're trying to that they're talking about is a 2001 very old vehicle, and she's asking for like $10,000 worth of damages, and the blue book value is not only not even close to that, but these two guys got onto their computer, or somebody did, and went through Street View and printed out pictures of this car since 2019, proving that it has had pre-existing damage that wasn't, well, I'm assuming that's what they're trying to prove, that it had pre-existing damage. Did I miss anything?
But
Ron is mentioned here, Ron Arendt.
yeah, well, he was there.
Right.
He was there after the accident. Yeah.
It says minor accident, very minor, not even minor, just very minor.
Yeah. They didn't give me a ticket.
See, we don't know what they did to that car later.
It just gets.
This is strictly a call for service. This isn't about the wreck hardly at all. It's the ambulance.
Because we tried to get a picture and everything from the car. Sure, they didn't take one. If they would have called me right away, I'd have fixed it. That's what I do on the side.
All right, I read the letter.
Okay,
Should
good.
be off.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Ms. Childers, I'm looking for a date on the estimate.
August 31st, 2023.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And so from the time of the accident till the time it went into Lacey Collision for estimate, was the vehicle driven at all?
It was driven from my father-in-law's house to our house, where it's been parked, and then I drove it to Lacey Collision. That's the only time it's been driven.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I've been presented photos, which I understand were discussed during the mediation, showing the truck parked in front of house number 125 on 41st Avenue. And Mr. Loeb was pointing out that it has what appears to be rust on the top of the cab as a reflection of the age of the vehicle, and it is a 2001. Your thoughts on the condition of the Silverado prior to the accident?
I had the rust spot on the top and a little bit of chipped paint, but it's mechanically sound with 127,000 miles on it. It doesn't get driven much. My father-in-law lost his leg to Agent Orange 5 years ago, and so he hasn't driven it in years. So my brother-in-law drives it occasionally.
What? What? What is she talking about? Agent Orange? I know that's. Oh my God.
As he is was a caregiver at his home.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And for the record, too, it was my brother-in-law, Brian Childers, on site. And it was my brother-in-law, Brian Childers, that Mr. Loeb has reached out to. My father-in-law owns the vehicle, and he's the one requesting that it get fixed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So here's what it comes down to. We have an estimate that shows $8,558 is the repair cost for the vehicle. We have a Blue Book value submitted by Mr. Loeb of $5,200 for a good condition truck. And we have a Blue Book value submitted by Ms. Childers of $6,800. For a good condition truck. The condition of the truck, the evidence before the court is that there's some rust on the cab. Frankly, the truck looks in pretty darn good shape. Other than that, I don't see anything on these photos which would indicate other significant issues.
That's a 4-year-old picture, Your Honor.
Okay. But that's the evidence before the court.
Right, I get it.
So the evidence before the court is that there was rust on the top of the cab. Ms. Childers has testified that the truck was working well mechanically prior to the accident. The police report doesn't shed any light. One of the issues raised by Mr. Loeb is that maybe there's liability on the part of Mr. Childers and the.
Okay. So when I worked at the car dealership, this is something that we did all the time. You get a number on a car. And so you have people you can call. Hey, I got an 01, was it a Silverado, Chevy Silverado, with 126,000 miles on it. Rust on the, oh my God, it's not worth $10,000.
Parking of the vehicle, but there's no evidence to support that. The police report it doesn't give any facts concerning.
Thank you, Chris. I don't know how long that takes to pop up, but thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I will mark off your late fee.
The nature of the accident, just the aftermath of the accident. So I don't think it's going to be helpful in that regard. It
does say very minor.
And I understand that the police report says very minor, and I'll point out, having heard many of these cases, we don't allow people to testify to damages caused by saying there was hardly a blip on the car, because cars can be hit and significant damage can occur when it doesn't even look like they've been in an accident. So
yes, sir.
Until somebody gets in and actually looks at the interior of the frame of the car.
But if somebody walked up to that car.
Hold on, just.
Oh, thank you. There's Chris's. Yay. Moonfox Studio. You got a gift from Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh, you guys are awesome. Banks, car dealerships in common too, Kathleen. Many things, I would bet. I have had, Yeah, you did help push that through. Um, no, I think Christ is the proper person to talk about. No, I'm just joking. Um, I've had many, many jobs. Oh, that's another thing. That's a project for the future. Listing out all my actual jobs. Whoa, crazy. Um, and this is where the judge said this to them to begin with. It's likely that both of you are not going to be happy with the way that he approaches this because each of them thought that they were in the clear, and obviously he's smacking down both. Interesting.
Second.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I understand the arguments that the photos show that not significant damage to Mr. Loeb's vehicle, although there is some. And the police report says very minor accident, but that's just the officer taking a visual look, not doing any sort of inspection of the frame. Mr. Loeb is admitting responsibility for the accident because basically just admitting liability for the accident, struck the parked pickup truck.
Wendy, thank you so much. Kathleen, look at that. Oh, it's always nice when people in the chat right away get the membership. I love it when lurkers get it too, but it's awesome to see somebody chat and turn green. I so appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy. You guys are so generous tonight, and I so appreciate it. What a lovely way to round out. Oh, that's the first time you've ever gifted a membership. Well, look at that. So sweet. And Kathleen's right there. I know, Miss Carrie. He had a medical emergency, so it wasn't even like a real accident where he was at fault, you know?
So the issue is damages here, and what's the reasonable assessment of damages? The argument is that the Blue Book values aren't directly applicable because the car is not in excellent condition. But the only evidence before the court is that they're not the car, the truck. The only evidence before the court is the only deficiency in condition for a 2001 Silverado with that Blue Book value is a rust on the top of the cab. So that's where we stand. The estimate's $8,500, $85. Blue Book value 68, Blue Book value 5242. And those are the numbers that we're working off of here looking at this. And am I going to reduce any of those numbers by some rust on the top of the cab? That's essentially what we're looking at here. So, Mr. Loeb, anything else you would like to say?
I would have liked to seen the truck between now and then before, the accident, and I didn't get to see it. Nobody let me know. So
Okay.
that's, and then if they would have talked to me, I would have fixed it. That's what I do on the side.
Okay.
But nobody did. So that's what I don't
Right.
like.
So just is so you're aware.
Why'd they wait so long to get the estimate?
I don't know why they waited so long to tell me. So,
Or get the estimate?
Okay.
It should have been done within 4 days.
All right. Well, a couple things. One, people are not, there's no obligation to allow the person who caused the damage to repair the damage. There's no obligation on anybody to do that. They can do it or not do it. In this case, they didn't do it, and they went to take for an estimate. The testimony before the court, and there's no testimony to the contrary, that the car, or not the car, the truck was driven. Just give me a short estimate of the miles from to your house and then from your house to Lacey Collision Center, just a gross estimate.
Maybe 10 miles.
Okay, so from the date of the accident to the date it went in for repair, the testimony before the court, it was driven somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 miles, no further. So it doesn't appear that there's any after accident damage to the truck that's before the court, no evidence of that before the court. And the absence of evidence doesn't mean that there is evidence. So unless somebody has evidence that they produce, we're not going to guess, like, was it driven every day and they're not telling the truth? There's no evidence before the court of that. So that's what we're working off of. I just want to make sure everybody understands how we have to look at this. It's only based on the evidence we have presented to the court. And so I'm going to take another look at the damage here, just run through it on the estimate, which you have now.
And he buffers. Ladies and gentlemen, great time to go ahead and check the poll. I'm going to close it soon. It's asking about New Year's.
All right, in this case, the estimate obviously exceeds the Blue Book values presented by both parties. So the estimate's not going to be very helpful since the value of a truck of that age in excellent condition is significantly less than the estimate to repair. So we're going to have to look towards the value of the vehicle at the time it was struck as a basis for determining what the damages are. I will note that in the estimate, there was no attempt to take care of the rust on the hood and bill that as part of the estimate. It looks like they were just addressing the issue of damages from being struck by Mr. Loeb's vehicle. So I'm satisfied that that's what the estimate was based on. And Ms. Childers, what were your costs, pardon me, of serving the claim on Mr. Loeb?
I think 110, but let me double check that. 62. 122.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
$122 to serve it. So I was acquitted. Yes, I've left the Zoom call. I zoomed out of that call. I'm glad that it worked. The background worked pretty good. She is not very prepared at all. The New Year's party is going to be a lot of fun. You do have to allocate like 12 grapes, depending on how many times you want to celebrate New Year's. We probably have like 4 different time zones that we could hit. I think that'd be fun. There was a question, are we or am I using a platform where we can listen to music? No, but I'm gonna make a playlist that you can play in your house in the background that we can all listen to together of music. And I think that's a pretty good solution. But yeah. Also, if you're allergic to grapes or you don't want to do grapes, I suppose we could do gummy bears, but ideally, apparently it's grapes. So, also, we had 40 likes. Can we have 40 or 40 votes in the poll? Can 40 likes? Dana, we'll be celebrating Eastern Standard Time and Pacific Time at the very least, New Year. So like 9 p.m. East or 9 p.m. Pacific is 12 East, and we'll be live for that. And then, depending if you want to stay, you can. We will be. And then there's Central Time Zone, I guess. So that's why I'm saying we have a number of opportunities for celebration. Oh yeah, Iowa Critter Cam, another great camera to check out and channel linked on my channel. Another YouTuber that I met this year. What a wonderful year. We are going to do some reflection during the New Year's party. I know that sounds a lot like homework, but it's not. But we are, I think, going to reflect together upon our year and maybe talk about what we want for the coming year. But you don't have to, you know what I mean? So we need to save for upwards of 48 grapes. Here's the thing, Dana. I'm also cognizant of people choking, and I don't want that. So we could cut the grapes. I feel like we could cut the grapes and do like, I mean, I feel like you could at least get 2 pieces out of a grape. Um, so I think maximum like 24 grapes probably should do it.
All right, so I'm going to use the Blue Book values as a basis for ascertaining the damages in this case, as I'd indicated, since they are less than the estimate to repair the vehicle. I'm going to use the lower of the 2 Blue Book values, and I'm going to reduce the lower of the two Blue Book values by determining that the rust on the hood, or pardon me, on the top of the cab is the only evidence before the court of a condition that's not otherwise good. And looking at its non-functionality, with the exception of aesthetics, I'm going to reduce the Blue Book value by 5%. So I will find judgment for Ms. Childers in the base amount of $5,030 by reducing the 5242 Blue Book value presented by Mr. Loeb. And I will also then add to that the filing fee and service fee. So the total judgment for Ms. Childers, Mr. Childers, is $5,202. And Mr. Loeb.
Too high, in my opinion. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. Also, I just came up with a fucking brilliant idea that I need to write down right now.
Is present in court, and we'll give Mr. Loeb a copy of that judgment, and judgment will be in your file, Ms. Childers, with the court, and you can get a copy of that judgment as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Loeb. We'll get you a copy here in just a moment.
How much time do I got to pay it? Because I gotta borrow money someplace. I don't have it.
Right. Well,
You didn't listen, sir. You don't have to pay her shit until she figures out how to make you pay her shit. That is the situation here. He could just leave. He's gonna borrow money to pay that fucking scammer back, in my opinion, legally or allegedly. Allegedly. Okay. Sorry. I'm glad I wrote that down. So glad. Okay.
I'm going to leave that.
And I don't think I have to pay that much, but that's the way it is.
Well, that's going to be the judgment of the court.
Yes,
So, Ms. Childers can take collection action if it's not paid within 30 days. So here you go. Here's a copy of the judgment. Nah, not around here, you won't. All right, I said not around here, you won't. All right, thank you, Mr. DeLoge.
That's enough, Dave. Let's go. We gotta go get breakfast.
All right, thank you. All right. Merry Christmas, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you just got $5,000 for Christmas. Kathleen, your dogs have got a DNA test. That's crazy to me. Tell us the results. Let's just listen to the rest of what this judge has to say. That'll be it for this evening. Like I said, I have a lot of preparing to do for New Year's, which is fast coming upon us. But, oh no. So, Jonathan, what a reminder. Okay. Okay. I received a text message last week. It's last week now. I feel so fucking bad. Okay? Because I'm so answering text messages. It's not my forte. Anyways, she wrote, "Hey, I'm not gonna dox her, so I'm not gonna say her name or the place that she mentions here, but hey, this is so and so. I'm not sure if you remember me, but I worked at the front desk at the Tilton, and I think I spoke with you about your YouTube channel, specifically Rodney from my hometown. I haven't forgot, and I've been looking for his Instagram ever since, but it's so weird. Here it is, LOL." And then she sent me little Rodney's Instagram details from it was so funny because that's when I went to Houston in the summertime, and I was talking with the girl, and she was like, "I watch court too." And I was like, "Are you serious?" Because I meet people all the time, and every time I explain what I do or what I like, what we do on these streams, people are like, "Oh, wow." I've never had somebody be like, "I watch court too." And she was like, "I watch Judge Kim." And I was like, "Girl, that's how I got into it too." So anyways, um, she's Chihuahua and Pitbull. Chihuahua and Pitbull. That sounds crazy. Anyways, I will I gotta text that girl. I feel bad. Answering text messages. Little Rodney is or so that's a case from back in the day, during the pandemic. Um, that we watched on the channel to begin with. On my first channel, that is sort of where we started watching, which was detention docket dinners. Oh, we should do another one of those. But we basically cooked dinner and watched detention dockets back from 2020. I've watched all of them now so many times, but we should do, well, maybe we'll do another one soon as a throwback. You guys, please remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, yeah, all of KCC 1.0 is still available. In fact, gets more subscribers than this channel does every day. Subscribe.